Tamikaze here with episode X or 10 of our TA educational series. In the next 10 episodes or so, we'll be talking about patterns and formations and what they mean on charts. Now that we have a good idea of what candlesticks do, we can start now integrating patterns that form multiple candlesticks in a row. I have some common patterns shown here on this infographic, and I will show some more as we go on. But these are the most common ones and the easiest to play. And then once we learn these, we will add in Fibonacci retracements, supports, all sorts of goodies. So in the second episode, I taught you how to mark up support and resistance. So now we're going to be putting those to work with candlesticks. So what I want to focus on in this first episode here are flags and pennants, some of the easiest formations to use. And what we have here are different bull flags and bear flags. The important thing to know that a bull flag will always have a flagpole going up and then a descending formation. A bear flag will always have the opposite, a flagpole going down. So this is your flagpole, and then you have an ascending formation, but it is weak pattern, and the breakout is always below the pattern, continuing the downtrend. So let's look at a live chart and see what we can find. So what I have pulled up here is Tesla, marked with a ton of different formations here. And we have super formations and little formations, and we have formations inside of formations. So let's start at the bottom here, and let's go through this. So right here we have a rising wedge. So here you could see that we have higher lows, and the high is staying the same. So we have a rising low into the end here, and what we're looking for is bullish action into the tip here. So you can see we have a reversal pattern here followed by heavy movement, and as we're squeezing here, the next day you could see it gapped up and then started isolating it in, and then we had another gap up into another wedge. So again, we have an ascending wedge here from our old wedge. So we have up, down, up, down, up, down, and then on the last one it broke out. And you can see the candlesticks were getting smaller, followed by a bullish reversal engulfing here, and that was our idea of going up. And then you can actually see here little tiny formations. I am on the 1 hour, so you have, again, triangles and pennants here. So here's your pennant and your breakout, and then you have another one right here. So you have, there's your pennant. This is actually a flag. So you have a rising wedge, a pennant, and a flag all in a row, and breakouts to the upper side. And then you have another pennant, and then you have a flag. So flags are always in a channel, basically. So you can see this channel is pretty pronounced, and then a breakout. And then we have basically a bear flag here that did not go as planned. So the important thing to know that while the typical and most likely solution on a flagpole with this formation is it to go up, it doesn't always happen. So with this being a perfect bear flag, with the bear flag pole being here, you can see that we did have bullish action into the end of it, and then we broke out above here. So what we're looking for is the breakout on either side. So you may get some candle wicks and some half of the bodies going up, but what we really want for confirmation are full bodied entire candlesticks on the outside. So this one right here would have been a good indication to get in, and you would have captured a great movement. And for here, you would have gotten in after this was confirmed and the next one started on the outside. You could have gotten in on the bottom of this candlestick and caught the top here. And again, we have then another bull flag, pennant, and a breakout here. And now we're starting this super wedge right here. So if you're looking at this, this would be considered a bullish falling wedge. So you have, this is a super wedge. So you have the bull flag, bullish falling wedge. And then we have our up here. And then we have a bullish rising wedge, followed by a bullish flag, followed by a bullish pennant. And then we have the opposite here. So one of the things we're looking at here is not only do these formations happen on the upside, they also happen on the downside, and we can play them both ways. So you can see a lot of times we're getting these flag pulls and then these wedges or pennants, and then we're just playing each. Doesn't matter which side it breaks. We can play both sides. Puts or go short here, or shares or go long with calls here. And then over here you have your flag pull and then a bear pennant. And then we have our clear breakout here, which means lower is to come. And then we have basically here a bearish rising wedge. So if you're looking at this, that's this rising wedge right here. That's what that looks like there. And then down here you have the opposite. So you can kind of tell that this is ending because we have our bear flag, but then we have a descending wedge. So a descending wedge on a formation can also mean more blood, but it can also mean that the formation is running out of steam. Think of a plane going all the way to the top, and then it hits that point where it's starting to reverse. That's what's happening here. So you have that plane going down, and it's starting to reverse, and then it comes up here. And then basically you have a rising wedge here, but this one doesn't really have a great bear flag, or doesn't have a great bull flag. And basically on a rising wedge, on a rising movement, again, that plane is running out of steam, and then it needs to cool off. So right now we have a descending wedge here, breakout, and now we have a rising flag here. So this could be testing the bottom here towards 400 next week. And we do have this super pennant right here. So asymmetrical triangle pennant, whatever you want to call it. So what we're looking for are just these formations. And again, we're just playing the breakouts. We don't care which way it goes. We just want to be able to recognize them as they're happening. So once we get large movement, then we're looking for that. And then what we're doing is we're playing the breakouts. So we're going in right here. We're not waiting for it to go down here. Again, we're waiting for a full candle on the outside here. We are not entering on the inside because we're not sure which way it's going to go yet. So hopefully this helped you, and we're going to be adding more and more. So these are the patterns that we are looking at today. So on a rising pattern, almost always the pattern is either flat or down. So we're getting a small correction followed by additional movement. And it's the same thing. If you have a rising pattern after a fall and it's a symmetrical or a squeezing pattern or a squeezing upper pattern, then we know that it could have more downside. So that is something to consider. And that's what I'm kind of looking at right here is that you have a bull flag, and then you kind of have this, what looks like a bearish flag forming right now. And that would make sense in the pennant. So we could have this bear flag followed by a fall, and then we will look and see what happens here in this overall pennant. So it looks like Tesla is working up by December to have a good move one way or the other, but we will see, and we will just play the chart as it unfolds to us. Thank you, and then the next couple episodes we're going to be adding in additional ones with double neck bottoms, head and shoulders, double tops, and other things like that. And then we'll add in Fibonacci retracements. So this is just a example of something we will be doing in the future, but we'll be adding automatic support and resistances that we can play off in these patterns. So Tamikaze here, episode 10. Thank you, and have a great day.